Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our council meeting. No.
Good evening, Mayor.
Good evening, Mona.
We're good to go.
We're good to go. Thank you, Mona. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our council meeting, December 1st, 2020. I hope the month so far is going well for you. But keep in mind, as of tonight, one new change in the city of Mount Pearl will be the parking ban is coming into effect. And I'm sure some of us or many of us will be talking about that further in the meeting. Council, you see before you the agenda for today. Could I get a motion, please, to approve that agenda? Moved by Councillor Stoyles and seconded by the Deputy Mayor. All in favor?
All right.
And contrary-minded, carried. Thank you so much. We have the council meeting from 2 weeks ago. So that would be, I lost my agenda for a second there, folks. That would be November 17th, 2020. Council, could you please review for errors or omissions in the minutes from the 17th? Okay, hearing none, no further comment. I'm going to ask for a motion. Councillor Fry and Councillor Antle have moved the November 17th minutes. All in favor? And those opposed? And that motion as well is carried. Please quote for business arising. Please quote the item number from the action report or the minutes, please, if you'd like to discuss an item on the previous minutes. Okay, hearing none. We'll move to proclamations, if that's okay with everybody. 16 days of activism against gender-based violence, November 25th to December 10th, 2020. Whereas the Violence Prevention Initiative of the Government of Newfoundland and Labrador is based on the vision that the people of our province will live in safe, caring communities where there is an inherent respect for each other and violence of any sort is unacceptable. And whereas violence against women devastates those who love and support women, as well as relationships, families, communities, neighborhoods, workplaces, schools, villages, cities, and towns the world over. And whereas the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence is an international campaign designed to develop strategies to increase awareness of the systematic nature of violence against women. And whereas the 16 days of activism against provides an gender-based violence, provides an opportunity for individuals, community organizations, and governments to work together in solidarity and to draw upon this period of heightened attention to gain support for their local efforts to eliminate violence against women. And whereas it is only through raising awareness and changing attitudes that violence against women can be stopped and prevented. Therefore, be it resolved that I, the Mayor, on behalf of my colleagues on council, do hereby proclaim November 25th to December 10th, 2020 as the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence to prevent violence against women in the city of Mount Pearl. And I've affixed my signature on the paper copy of that proclamation. And I would like to open the floor and invite my colleagues to speak if they wish regarding the proclamation.
I would, Your Worship.
Go ahead, Councillor Fry.
I know I've spoke of this before, but I just thought it was appropriate to bring it up again. I attended a fireside chat featuring the Honorable Mary Monsef there in October, and she is the minister responsible for women and gender equality. And one of the things that stood out to me in that particular fireside chat was that in April, Statistics Canada put out a survey, and they discovered that 1 in 10 women are very or extremely concerned about violence in their home during COVID. And 1 in 10 is quite alarming. So that kind of struck me. And I just also, for the information of the public, there is, as of about a month ago, a dedicated province-wide 24/7 domestic violence support line. And that is, if somebody calls, they get somebody here locally in Newfoundland and Labrador. The number is 1-888-709-7090. So this proclamation is very important, and just to talk about it and create awareness is important. So if anybody is aware of anything, or if they suspect, it's something that can be talked about and brought forward and hopefully resolved. So I'm really happy to see this here. And unfortunately, I guess we need to have it here, but God willing, now things will, with more awareness and with a support line, then hopefully somebody will, or potentially will receive help accordingly. So I'm really happy to see this here. Thank you for bringing it forward.
Thank you, Councillor. Well said. Anybody else who wishes to comment?
I'd like to jump in there, Your Worship. Councillor Fry, her words were very eloquent and and spot on. It's unfortunate that we do have to be bringing these proclamations forward, but I certainly do support this wholeheartedly. Just bringing awareness, as the final point of your proclamation, Your Worship says here, just through the awareness and speaking of this, because it's important that we reach out to all the public, and in particular, having me being a teacher in the high school, it's important that this get to the younger generations as well, through education, awareness, and again, just changing attitudes, letting people know that this is inappropriate, it's wrong, and there are supports out there, as Councillor Fry indicated, with the 24/7 call-in line. So I'm delighted to see this here as well, and I wholeheartedly support it. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Anybody else from the floor, please? Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Let's move on to committee reports. The next item is the Community Development Committee, and I see Councillor Antle is getting ready to report.
No, that would be me, Your Worship.
Oh, sorry. Okay, yep. Thank you, Isabel.
The first item on our agenda this evening is regarding 601 Old Placentia Road. And it's regarding an accessory building on an existing non-conforming residential lot. So the committee recommends approval of the application to construct a 7.92 meter by 7.92 meter, that's a 26 by 26 accessory building, which is a detached garage, with a proposed height of approximately 5 meters at 601 Old Placentia Road, and further recommends that a development permit be issued subject to section 6.27 of the Mount Pearl Development Regulations of 2010, and subject to the conditions as set out by the Department of Community Development, specifically conditions as outlined by the following. The City of Mount Pearl Inspection Services Municipal Enforcement Division, the City of Mount Pearl Finance Division, the City of Mount Pearl Planning Division, and the City of Mount Pearl Development Regulations 2010 and related requirements. The background information on the file of 601 Old Placentia Road is available for reference by contacting the Planning and Development Division. So we've held our public consultation, and we've had a lot of communication and discussion over this particular building, and I therefore so move.
It is moved by Councillor Fry and seconded by Councillor Antle. Any discussion, Council? Councillor Stoyles, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I want to speak on this development. I've visited the property now, I think 3 times, and I'm very torn between the decisions. I'm going to be voting no on this. The proponent certainly has a right to have a shed. The concern I have is the access from the back garden, and over on the street. I walked in around, I looked at Doll, and I just felt that if I lived on the street, I wouldn't want a big shed. The way that house is, and that house on 601 Old Placentia Road is the only house on Old Placentia Road that's facing Old Placentia Road. All the other houses are in the cul-de-sac and inside, and I just felt that given access to a back garden in the middle of in that area, I just didn't feel that it was right. I understand the gentleman and the people have a right to having a shed in their back garden, but where the shed is located and that I just don't feel I can support it. And
Thank you, Councillor Stoyles. Councillor Antle.
Your Worship, I wasn't planning to speak on this, but I did attend the public hearing along with Councillor Fry, and this was a public council meeting, and every concern that both the residents, either for the proposal or against the proposal, were there, and every question they had, they answered quite thoughtfully and quite well. I think this shed or this garage that they built on the back of their property, they really went out of their way to make sure it blended into the neighborhood. And that was the whole goal, to make sure it blended into the neighborhood. I understand what Councillor Stoyles says, access to the backyard. But they didn't want their shed to be rear facing on the property. And that was spelled out into the in our kit. So if you had a rear facing shed on the driveway, it'd look awful. So the shed will be facing Portsmouth Close, if I remember correctly. So that's the reason why I think they have their garage on that side. I fully support this proposal, and that's the reason I'm voting for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Antle. Further commentary from my colleagues?
Yeah, Your Worship, I'd like to join in as well.
Please.
Councillor Stoll's points, I understand where she's coming from, having gone there myself and looked at this. But again, the way I looked at it, the residents, as Councillor Antle just indicated, they had a right to put a shed here within our regulations. They wanted something, of this size, and they did everything to accommodate the requests of the city and of the neighborhoods. So we decided on this style of shed, the size of this shed, because we were hoping to make it blend in. So with the driveway access, it would blend in more readily with the facade of the streetscape of the neighborhood here. So I'm in support of this, and I just want to also acknowledge the work of Director Collins and the people within his department, because I know they met multiple times with this. They put great efforts in to try to accommodate this and appease the concerns. Some of the concerns that were raised in the public hearing or the public session that Councillor Antle and Councillor Fry attended, based on my readings of the kit and the report, they were addressed, in terms of water and drainage and the like. So the gentleman on 601 Old Placentia Road, you're right, it's a unique circumstance. The subdivision was built around that property that was in existence before they built Portsmouth Close over in the neighborhood. So in an attempt to compromise and address the needs of the resident on 601, but at the same time protect the streetscape and the livability of that neighborhood on or Portsmouth Close, I think our staff did a great job, commendable job, working with all involved to try to come up with this compromise here. So I will be lending my support to this particular application. Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Anybody else for a comment? Hearing none. Yeah, I think there's a lot of compromising has gone on here, and I think due to the public engagement process, we've taken into account the needs not just of the resident of this lot, but also of the neighborhood. And if there's anything to go wrong here with the access, we'll be able to monitor that with our municipal enforcement over time. And I think we've reached a good decision for the city. So I'll call the motion. All in favor, please. And those contrary? Noting Councillor Stoyles, noted Councillor. Okay, the motion has been carried. Thank you. Next is back to you, Councillor Antle.
Fry. Next is our
Sorry,
development.
Councillor Fry.
That's okay. It happens all the time. Next is our development permit listing for the period of November the 16th to the 27th. So the committee recommends that the following development permit be approved as presented for the period of November 16th to the 27th. And there's one here, and it's from Vigilant Management for site work. And I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Fry and seconded by Councillor Antle that we approve the development permit you see listed there, Council. All in favor? And those opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, next, the committee recommends that the building permits issued for the same period, November the 16th to the 27th, showing a total construction value of $2,694,500 be approved. And further, that the occupancy permit list be accepted as presented. And those are here in your kit. As you can see, there are a couple of new single family dwellings and some renovations, interior and exterior. So there's a lot happening. And I so move.
It is moved by Councillor Fry and seconded by Councillor Antle that we approve the building, construction, residential and commercial, plus the occupancy permits for the period November 16th to 27th. Council, all in favor?
Aye.
And contrary-minded? Carried. Thank you.
And that's the end of the Community Development and Planning Committee for this evening.
Thank you very much. I'm going to now turn to the Infrastructure and Public Works Committee. I think Councillor Stoyles is getting ready. The floor is yours, Councillor Stoyles.
No, I think Deputy Mayor is starting up.
I'm 0 for 2 today. Deputy Mayor.
Well, at least you didn't call me Councillor Fry, so thank you, Mayor. It's my pleasure, Mayor. Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Stoyles. Your Worship, I'll take the first 2 items here tonight, and then I'll turn it over to my co-chair, Councillor Stoyles, and she'll end up our committee report here. Your Worship, the first is a contract recommendation for the supply and the delivery of high-capacity oil filtration bypass system. I'll say that multiple times. So this is another one of our initiatives under our climate change initiatives here in the city of Mount Pearl. And as a part of our climate change initiatives with IPW, we applied, Your Worship, back in October of 2019 for a grant from the Climate Change Challenge Fund. And we were successful, Your Worship, in securing a grant to the value of $320,000. That was cost shared. I think our share, once we accommodated the HST rebate, was in the order of about $78,000. And that particular grant application involved 2 particular projects. One, council will remember some months back we brought in, and it had to do with a park shed and the conversion of the park shed for heating components to make it more environmentally friendly. And this is a second project under the Climate Change Challenge Fund. And this one here, as I said, is the high capacity oil filtration bypass system. And as planned for this funding, the city tendered for this system to install it on some of the vehicles, equipment, to improve the environmental impacts and, of course, to reduce the overall costs. So essentially, Your Worship, here to summarize, this particular system will filter the oil, and in so doing will extend the life of the oil. So it will result in fewer oil changes, fewer oil filter changes, which of course is a bonus to our environment. It also will reduce the pollution. It will allow for our systems to run more efficiently. There will be less soot output, and also it'll result in less downtime for our equipment. So there's many pluses to this particular project here. So again, we're recommending that the contract for the supply of this high capacity oil filtration bypass system be awarded to Oil Filtration Systems, the compliant bidder, and the bid amount, Your Worship, is $147,113.75. This includes HST, and of course, this is within our particular budget, and I so move.
It is moved by the Deputy Mayor and seconded by Councillor Stoyles. Any discussion, folks? Recycling, energy efficiency, and cost savings. What can you say critically about that, eh?
And Your Worship, I just should add, this is one of multiple initiatives, and I'm proud to say this, that, you know, our council here has a green lens, and, you know, we've brought in the electric vehicle, you know, we've brought in our leak detection for our water, drinking water. Our UTM crowd is doing some phenomenal work here, saving us literally millions of liters of fresh drinking water. So this is just another one of our initiatives as we continue to move forward to do our part to make sure that our city is doing its part to be environmentally friendly and be an environmental steward. So again, I move that we proceed with this.
Okay, the motion's on the floor. Hearing no further questions, I'll call the motion. All in favor? Contrary-minded? Thank you. Motion carried. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Your Worship. The next item for me is a request for a change order number 15. And this has to do with a contract for street upgrading on Glendale Avenue and Bradley Place, and in particular, phase 1. Back in July of 2019, we approved the awarding of this particular project to Dexter Construction Company Limited, and the bid amount, Your Worship, was $3,583,615.91, inclusive of HST. And Your Worship, the contract included provision for unit prices for above ground temporary water. Sometimes with these road constructions, we have to accommodate the fact that the water will be shut off or interrupted somehow. So we have, above ground systems to provide temporary water to the residents and the businesses in the area. However, underground connections between work zones, water lines were required to maintain water distribution. So the Infrastructure and Public Works Committee recommends approval of this requested change order, number 15, to the contract for the underground temporary water connections, as noted by the review by Vigilant Management, as well as by our Engineering Service Division. And the amount here, Your Worship, is $15,019. That includes HST. And that, of course, is within the contract budget. And I recommend approval.
Second.
Thank you. Moved by the Deputy Mayor and second by Councillor Stoyles. Deputy Mayor, I guess if we didn't do these underground connections, we wouldn't be able to do snow clearing, and we wouldn't be able to really in winter or, at the fall, spring times of the year, deliver safe water to our residents on Glendale. Is that a fair summary?
That's a fair summary. It's a necessary step here to maintain the highest level of service possible to our residents and our businesses when we're conducting these operations, Your Worship.
Thank you. Further commentary, folks? Okay, hearing none, I'll call the question again. All in favor? And those opposed? And we have, the motion has been carried. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Worship. I'll now turn it over to Councillor Stoyles, and she'll conclude with some status updates from our committee report. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Just some information regarding our public works. Our supervisors, of course, are all on now 24/7 until spring, and hopefully we won't get too much snow. And as of yesterday, our full recall winter staff have started, and we've completed all the mechanical work on our fleet. Just about as a couple of a piece of equipment that's not inspected, some of the old equipment, and they're all ready to go if we did have a snowstorm, but it's just making sure everything is done, changing the oil and things like that, and that should be all done in the next week or 10 days. And of course, we're getting ready for this, or we have been preparing for the second wave of COVID-19. As most people know, we're getting a fair number of cases in the province again, and we just want to make sure our staff and the residents is prepared and ready in case we do get any more cases here on this side of the island. And of course, All Placentia Road, I drove by that way earlier this afternoon, and they're doing some repairs. It's almost completely done. It's just a few areas that they have sidewalks to complete a few sections, and that should be done by the end of this week. So hopefully there won't be any more road work or any more delays. And I noticed down Smallwood Drive this afternoon, there was a fair amount of delays with Light and Power trying to complete their work as well. And that is it for our updates, Your Worship.
Thank you so much, Councillor Stoyles, and thank you to the committee for all your hard work the last 2 weeks. Folks, we're going to be moving on now to the Corporate Services and Economic Development Committee report. Before I do, I'm going to be declaring a potential conflict of interest on item number 18 in the invoices for approval. So I'm going to leave the meeting and hand the chair over to the Deputy Mayor. So excuse.
Okay, thank you, Your Worship. So we have Councillor Antle, Councillor Fry. So Councillor Antle going to take the lead on this one.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. You can see in our kit there, invoices for approval for a total of $532,287.13. And just to highlight a few of those, there's number one there for the City of St. John's. That's our water bill for the month of September for $138,000. And just for a quick update there, you can see some there. You can see in your kit, there's quite a few there for McInnes Cooper. And just draw them your attention. Number 7 and 8 has to do with HR and employment matters. And 9, 10, 11, and 12, just to give a quick update, that has to do with some ongoing appeals within the City of Mount Pearl and the investigation that's ongoing between the city and our former CAO. And I so move.
Okay, moved by Councillor Antle, seconded by Councillor Fry. Any comments or questions? Okay, let's call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Motion is carried.
And I think now you can bring the mayor back.
Okay, we can wait for the mayor to return. Ms. Lewis is going to, okay.
Yep,
Yeah.
all good. Thank you very much,
There you go.
Deputy Mayor. And I guess Councillor Antle, you're going to continue. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Your Worship.
And now for the payment register, and the payment register from November the 18th to November the 26th for a total of $2,433,611.64. And you can see in your kit, we're still paying our bills. We're doing our road work. There's a huge one there for Modern Paving for $562,400. And Ware's Construction for $323,846,000. And these are just to make sure that we keep our bills up to date. And that's in your kit for your information only.
Thank you.
No questions. Can go on. Number 3 in your kit, it's our 2020 calendar for, I think it's 2021 calendar for our public council meetings. And this is just an FYI, it's every 2 weeks. There's no change in our meetings. It's every Tuesday. And it's just so it'll be going on our website. Any issue, or I'm sorry. And I so move.
Thank you, Councillor. It is moved by Councillor Antle, seconded by Councillor Fry. All in favor, folks? And those opposed? And no, not here. I don't see the Deputy Mayor, but I think he's able to speak. Not hearing any objection, the motion is carried. Thank you so much.
And number 4, it's a tax deferral as we do every year. It's for our low income earners. There's 2 there. And I so move.
Again, it is moved by Councillor Antle, second by Councillor Fry. Any discussion or questions? Thank you very much. I'll call the question. All in favor? Thumbs up. Contrary-minded, carried. Thank you again.
And just a couple of weeks ago, the City of Mount Pearl hosted their 2nd annual hackathon, Hacking Mount Pearl, from November 20th to the 22nd. For anyone that does not know what a hackathon is, it's a 3-day event that brings together entrepreneurs, business professionals, designers, developers, innovators, and anyone with a keen interest in designing for the future. Participants can innovate, network, get advice from experts, and build a solution all in one weekend. At the end of the 3 days, teams present their finished product in front of a panel of judges for a chance to win some really, really great prizes. This year, the City of Mount Pearl hosted 50 participants, forming 16 teams, all hacking away at a problem that we all care about: environmental sustainability. Over 3 days, our hackers worked tirelessly to find innovative solutions to waste management, solving the problems presented to them, using technology. How can we send less to waste in our landfills? This year, we are proud to welcome a strong suite of partners: NEIA, Newfoundland and Labrador Environment Industry, the Genesis Centre, MMSB, TechNL, Heave Away Waste Management, MISA, SMISA, and Business Arts Newfoundland. We are very honored to have such a great roster of mentors for our participants to reach out and work with over the weekend and refine their ideas. The results were impressive. While we could only have 3 winners, we were blown away by the talent and passion of our hackers, who presented such great ideas on how to better manage our waste. Congratulations to the first place team, R&B ×3, second place team, Hex Dump, and the third place team, Earth Hackers. This weekend may be over, but we know innovation will keep on going, and with their great ideas, we look forward to see them come to life. As a municipality, we are so supportive of finding new ideas and more efficient ways to solve our problems, and initiatives like Hacking Mount Pearl really demonstrate how to progress and how committed our staff are. Over the weekend, our staff, under the leadership of Cassie Pittman, they went above and beyond to make sure this Hacking Mount Pearl really was a success. And it's something that stands out for most of the residents in Mount Pearl. It's starting to grow. You can talk to the young kids and they all know Hacking Mount Pearl. So I want to thank everybody who participated, and we really look forward to see you again next year. And that's it for me, Your Worship. And my phone is ringing in the background. NTV.
Well, say hello on our behalf, Councillor, and thank you very much for a very in-depth report on a very successful event, the city's hackathon. We're going to turn now in the agenda to the roundtable.
Hang on, before you do it, I want to speak to the hackathon, Your
Yes,
Worship.
please, Councillor Stoyles.
I wanted to say I listened in and watched I think most of the presentations, and no doubt they were all very informative and very good ideas. I'm just wondering if it can be sent to the Eastern Waste Management. Harold Maloney is the chair of the Eastern Waste Management, and I'm sure they would be very interested in some of the studies and some of the things that was done. It is always very interesting to see what the young people comes up with, especially when we're looking at what we can do to cut back on waste and things like that. Eastern Waste Management certainly, and the whole waste in the whole province. It might be interesting even to send a copy of it to some of the reports on to municipal affairs, especially when they're funding the waste management in the province, and some ways that they can look at doing some of those things to reduce waste. I don't know what we would do with it after they did it. I think it was a great 3 days, and it was great to see so many people and a lot of foreign students. I was impressed by the number of foreign students that came on board and took part in the hackathon, because when you do it virtually, you can be from almost anywhere. I don't know if these students were all in Newfoundland studying or if they were in other parts of the world, but it was certainly interesting seeing the different people there and all the great ideas that they had put forward at this hackathon. It's certainly very interesting. It's always good to see what young people comes up with, and what not only young people, anybody gets involved in a hackathon and involved in anything like this is great to see the ideas from other people. So I just want to say great job to everybody, but I just want to make sure that it goes in the hands of some people in case they might want to use some of this stuff.
Thank you, Councillor Stoyles. And while you're up, would you mind leading the roundtable? Thank you.
Not at all. I just wanted to say, I think on Thursday night, we're going to be announcing the awards virtually, and I wanted to say congratulations to all the people who put names forward, all the different groups, and especially to all the individuals and groups that have been nominated. Congratulations, and I look forward to Thursday night and watching to see who actually was selected. And no matter who is selected, everybody is a winner. Just having your name forward is certainly very honored for anybody. When an organization you're involved in put your name forward. And that's basically all I have this evening, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor. And now we'll turn to Councillor Fry, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Just a couple of things for me this evening. The last 2 weeks have been quite busy with some various online meetings, keynote speakers, and panel discussions with the Federation of Canadian Municipality. And it was really, really interesting to be involved. We had our first regional caucus meeting for the Atlantic with Mayor Sheila Fitzgerald of Bydar, Rodington, and Deputy Mayor Trina Appleby of Torbay, and myself representing Newfoundland and Labrador. And it was quite interesting to share commonalities that we have and differences at the same time. And while there were a lot of really great discussions, there was one that I just wanted to mention, because it was one of the keynote speakers was a lady by the name of Annemie Paul, and she is the new leader of the Green Party. So there were 8 candidates, and on October the 3rd, she became the new leader. She is a lawyer and activist in Toronto, and she is the first Black Canadian and the first Jewish woman to be elected to a major federal party in Canada. So it was interesting. She was newly elected, and it was interesting to hear her speak. On November the 26th, we all visited our depot, and we got a firsthand look at our new loaders. We have 3 new loaders, and we are ready to go for winter. You know, we have our crews are ready, and I know it's only the 1st of December, and hopefully we won't have any snow for a long, long time. But we are ready to go, and with these new machines, our staff are going to do an even. They always do a fabulous job. So that's one of the things that we take a lot of pride in here in Mount Pearl. the Association for the Arts in Mount Pearl, AMP, they've been doing a lot of really good work, you know, and they're very active in a virtual environment. They usually have an event called Art Fusion, which is a display and a sale for artists. And this year they're doing it on an online version of what they would normally do. So throughout the month of December, they will be featuring artists, artisans, and crafters in afternoon posts on their Facebook page. So everyone is welcome to register if anybody has a product or service that they would like featured. And they also have a Shop the Arts, which is an online market. So I wanted to bring this forward because the arts is very strong in Mount Pearl, in Newfoundland and Labrador, but specifically in Mount Pearl. And I just wanted to make people aware that if they are crafters of any sort, then this is available, and they should definitely check out the AMP Facebook page because there's a lot happening there. I also wanted to mention the Best in Mount Pearl Awards. I'm really excited because Sheila Williams is totally awesome. And she is going to be hosting the event. So I mean, it's worth tuning in for anyway. But I also wanted to say a big thank you to everybody who took the time to nominate somebody. We have some great nominees this year, and it does take a little bit of effort to nominate somebody. So that is very meaningful. And thank you to everybody who did that, and congratulations and best wishes to all the nominees. I know it was mentioned earlier, but I think I just want to draw attention. The parking ban comes into effect. Well, it's into effect now that we're into December. And one other thing I wanted to bring attention to is that I've noticed on Facebook, and it's not necessarily a Mount Pearl issue, but I wanted to bring it to everybody's attention because it's the season where people do a lot of extra shopping, and because of COVID, a lot of people are going to do online shopping this year. And therefore, there are a lot of packages being delivered. And I've noticed on Facebook over the last couple of days, people have been commenting that their packages have been stolen off their front step. And that's really sad. And it's sad to think that somebody would do that. But I just wanted to bring attention to it, that if somebody's expecting a package, to keep an eye out for it. Director Collins has discussed this with the MEOs, with the municipal enforcement officers, and as well brought it to the attention of the Royal Newfoundland Constabulary. And while it's difficult you can't follow every delivery truck, we are making whatever efforts we can here in the city, but it's also important for residents to be aware of this as well. And that is it for me this evening. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councillor Antle, please.
Thank you very much, Your Worship. It's been a busy bunch. Just a couple of things for me. Just to remind everybody, we have the lighting of St. David's Field. I think Councillor Stoll just mentioned that, December the 6th, and that's going to be virtual, and I'm looking forward to that. Just because we don't have public council meetings till next week, I want to send out a very happy birthday to a longtime resident of Mount Pearl, Minnie Randall. Her birthday is on December the 9th. And she lives up in Hillcrest, and I'm sure we'd love to go up and wish her happy birthday on December 9th, but we can't get in. But I'm certainly sure we get a card up to say happy birthday to Minnie. All right. With the Best in Business Awards, Best in Mount Pearl Awards, I'm certainly looking forward to that, like we all are. There's so many people that got nominated, and just we have the Lifetime Achievement Award. There's 7 people got nominated for that. The Citizens Award Banquet, or Citizen of the Year nominees, there were 6 people got nominated. So, it's great to see how many people are out being nominated for all these presentations. And we certainly look forward to seeing that on December the 3rd. Tomorrow night, we start our first community supper here in the Mount Pearl for the needy, and that's already done through the food banks. It's all takeout. So we're social distancing, and it's all done through food banks. The Mount Pearl Public Library now is finally back accepting donations for books. Any books that are 2 years and younger or 2 years and newer, you can drop off at the library. You can just give them a call at 368-3603, or you can email them at mountpearl@nlpc.ca and make arrangements to drop off books. They need their books 2 years and newer, and they'd certainly appreciate it. Also, on November 28th, we have a very enterprising young man in Mount Pearl, Alex Taylor. Alex Taylor gave up his free time. He's done this twice. He did it there a little while ago for the food banks. And on November the 29th, 28th, Alex did a Christmas concert. And on that, he played Christmas music for about an hour, and he donated all his money and his time to Gathering Place. You know, it's great to see such, such young individuals. But Alex was really going out of his way, and I think we're going to see a lot of things coming out of Alex in the future. He's loves giving up his free time, and whenever he can, he's always there. And hopefully we can see him live again. And also, this past week or a couple of weeks ago, Enloe had their awards. And that's the Newfoundland Labrador Organization of Women Entrepreneurs. And we had one such winner, and her name is Afia Altaf. And they're the owners, her and her husband are the owners of Curry Delight. And she's the head chef. And if you talk to Afia, I mean, she's a busy, busy person. She's raised 3 small kids, and I think she works full time, and she's running the Curry Delight. And she won the Momentum Award, and that was sponsored by McInnes Coopers. This award recognizes an entrepreneur who has demonstrated significant growth and growth potential in a 1 to 3 year time span, having built a business that is adaptable and successful, leverage opportunities for continued growth. Curry Delight started as a vendor at the farmers market and is now expanded to a family-run business and takeout located here in Mount Pearl, serving authentic Pakistani and Indian cuisine. So congratulations to Afia, and maybe we can send her a letter if we can get a chance. And that's it. Oh, and I have one question, and I had just because somebody asked me this, and I thought I'd ask it at the round table. Why do we have, and maybe Director Rental or yourself can answer this question, why do we have a parking ban starting in December 1st when we don't have snow?
Well, Director Antle, I've been around too long. I think that would be a good one for you to answer.
Thank you, Your Worship. Parking bans are in place to be proactive. We want to ensure that snow can happen at any point in time, particularly in the evening time when we have, right now, temperatures are often below 0, and we have salt trucks operating as well. So it's to be proactive and ensure that we can be prepared as best we possibly can for winter season.
Thank you.
Thank you, Director Antle and Councillor Antle. And on to you, Deputy Mayor, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. I think we get that question every year.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, is Councillor Stoles trying to?
No, you go ahead. I didn't see your hand up, Deputy
Okay.
Mayor.
Well, you can go if you had something to ask on something that was said there, Councillor Stoles.
Well, I was going to speak on the parking ban, and in the 25 years I've been here, that's what we've always done, is start early in December, because you don't know what's going to happen. And we've had snow a couple of times, a lot of times in December, and sometimes it's not until mid-December. But like Director Rental said, I know the residents sometimes don't understand. They call and say, well, they got a Christmas party. But usually in the month of December, our staff is very lenient, and that as well, especially when the forecast is very mild and we don't foresee any snow coming, and people are out visiting their family, Christmas time and everything, and Christmas parties and that. So there's something we've done for years and years just to be prepared. The other thing I want to mention, Deputy Mayor, I don't mean to take up your time, but I thought Councillor Fry was going to mention it, is the Kinets are having their turkey drive also. And the turkey drive is on Saturday, December the 12th, and it's going to be at both Sobeys and Dominion this year, from 10 to 4. Anybody who would like to donate a turkey to the food banks, the Mount Pearl Connect Club is going to be at both of those supermarkets on December the 12th, collecting turkeys. This year we're not allowed inside. We're only going to be out in the parking lot with vans and the St. Vincent and Paul van. So anybody who's up shopping or wants to pop up and donate a turkey, we certainly would appreciate it. The need is greater this year than any other year, just saying. And I will pass it back to you, Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Stoles. You essentially said what I was going to say about snow clearing, which is fine. We have been hit many times with snow in December, so it's all about safety and allowing our crews to effectively maintain the high level of service that we've come to know. So once people get into the routine, I'm sure that'll become habit forming. Much, Your Worship, what I was going to say has already been said. I did want to acknowledge our friends at Curry Delight, Miss Altaf. I mean, the work is phenomenal. They do such great work there, and they're such great members of the community. So I was delighted to see that particular achievement there. Also, I too want to speak about the hackathon because I know we touched on the awards and stuff like that. I had the opportunity, Your Worship, in your absence, you couldn't make it there, to award the top winner. Excess Connected was. And as we said, it's ingenious to see the ideas, and when you get strong minds together, some of the PowerPoints that came out of that and the information, to Councillor Stowell's point, I mean, very worthwhile. But the winner was an app that, distributors, food distributors, say in Donovan's Business Park. I think we are the largest, we have the largest food distributing operation of any business park in the province from Donovan's. So they came up with this app that could allow the food distributors to connect to small and medium-sized producers. If, for example, they had excess avocados or romaine lettuce or what have you, and it was close to expiring, they could, send it out through this app to notify these small and medium-sized businesses that they might purchase these products at a reduced price. So it's a win-win-win. It doesn't go to our landfill. The distributor gets some money for it, and our producers get some money. So that was just one example. I was also intrigued by, learned a lot about home and building deconstruction, decommissioning, and the use of recycled materials, reusable materials. So other people, several teams had ideas about, not just automatically throwing your waste to the landfill. And again, great innovation, great ideas. And I really enjoy these hackathons because it just goes to show when we put strong minds together that we come up with these great ideas. And again, Councillor Antle mentioned that our staff, once again, did a great job in promoting this and participating in. So hats off to everyone involved. And that is it for me, Your Worship. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. It's all been said. It's been a really busy week or 2 weeks, and it looks like the next 2 weeks are going to be fairly busy. And but it looks like it's going to be safe going forward, folks. I know we're all in the middle of a pandemic, but we're doing our best basically to ensure we distance from each other and wear masks and do all the right thing and try to make sure the environments that we work and play in are as risk-free as possible. But I too want to commend staff for the job that they did on the hackathon. In particular, Jeremy, Leslie, and Cassie. And I'd like to say that on a first name basis. I hope you appreciate that you do great work every day, and you do great work with this council as well as within our community. So congratulations on the hackathon. Great to see the business community being honored, and some of our small business entrepreneurs, especially with Curry Delight and Afi Altif. A little bit of recognition goes a long way. And speaking of that, we're going to honor our community on Thursday. I think Councillor Stoyles might have been the first to speak of it, with the Best in Mount Pearl Awards. And all the winners are in, the nominees that are there. Winning just happens to be a little bit of further acknowledgement, but it shows the strength of our community in so many areas. And I guess we can't talk about any. We anticipate that and look forward to Sheila Williams and the show. 6:30 on Thursday night via Facebook. Folks, our meeting has come to an end, and I'll call for a motion to adjourn, moved by Councillor Antle and second by Councillor Fry. Thank you and good night. And I believe we're gathering together. It's scheduled, Ms. Lewis, for a committee of the whole at 5:50.
Mhm.
If you want to start earlier, send your text pretty soon. Okay, see you later. We're adjourned.